Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness, what a day it is. Oh, my hat's a little crooked. What a day it has already been. Oh my goodness. If you could hear me, give me a thumbs up so I know that I'm coming in loud and clear. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Oh my goodness. I want to talk today about I'm going to actually drop a video on this either later this afternoon or maybe Monday. But I got a comment on a video that I did earlier in the week. How many of you have seen the video on Don, the gentleman who's living in a minivan, who's just really, I think, a brilliant, brilliant person? And I got a comment on that. But before I go there, let me go over and say hello to a few folks in here, in the comments here. Hey, Nora. Hey. Hi, Adele. Hey, keeping up with Colorado. Oh my goodness. Yep, I made it. I made it just by the skin of my teeth. I am in a conference room today because I was down at the beach. I wasn't getting very good reception. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to come up to the conference room. Actually, I had scheduled the conference room earlier and I was going to cancel it. So I was supposed to have a special guest today, but he called me. Actually, Gene, the gentleman who is 83, living in his minivan, he was going to be my guest today because so many people talked about how good he looked for 83, and he had mentioned all his vitamins and stem cell and all this stuff. So I thought, well, let me have him come on and share a little bit about that. But anyhow, I'll come back to that. But before my mind is scattered today. But he called me a couple days ago to tell me he has a really bad cold, so he couldn't be on the live today. So hopefully, either next week or the week after, I don't know, but we'll try to get him on. But hey, Kathy, let me go back and get some of these comments that I've missed. Um, okay, let's see. Hey, Carlene Griffith is in the house. Hello, hello. Um, Vaughn's on a roll is here. Oh my goodness. I've said hello to Adele and my dear friend Norma. Hey, Allison. Allison has a great channel, Travel Snacks, and she's been doing a whole series on parking here, parking there, parking at this spot, and some adventures that she's had while parking. And that is really overnight parking is one of the biggest challenges that nomads and van lifers face. So go over and check out Allison over on Travel Snacks and say hello to her. Outdoor Dash Travels is in the house, another friend, my friend Lisa. Hey, Lisa has a channel too. She's working on getting it really going, but she has some beautiful, beautiful jewelry. Oh my gosh, she makes the most amazing jewelry. Can you drop a link for one of the links where people can go over and look at your jewelry, Lisa? And Debbie Johnson's in the house. Hey, Wanderluster Bust. Oh my goodness. Gia Nicholas. Hey, Gia. Hello, hello. How are you going? Hey, Redheaded Riding Hood is in the house. Another creator. But we're going to, at the end, we'll have everyone put a C who's a creator, so we'll know who to go over and support. Say, hey, Kimberly Burkhart's in the house. Wanda Hutchins. Oh my goodness. Kathy Stonebreak said, my name is Kathy. I'm from Iowa. Well, welcome, Kathy. It sounds like this is your first time. And before this live is over, we're going to greet all the newbies, the new globies in the house, because that's how we roll. We love to greet you and say hello. But welcome, welcome, Kathy. Hey, Amy. Hey, Alma. Hello, hello. Alma from the Philippines. And who else is in the house? Oh my goodness. Have I missed anyone? If I have missed you, come around and say hello again so that I can say hello. Oh, there, Red. Oh, thank you. Redheaded Riding Hood. Red Drop Travel Snacks link. Thank you, Red. I appreciate that. Lisa dropped her link also for her crystal jewelry. It's just beautiful. I wish I was that talented. I wish I was that creative, but what can I say? Hey, I am who I am. And let's see if I caught up with everyone. Oh, hey, oh, so Judy must be in the house. Hello. Hey, Judy, my friend. Judy's going to be heading over to, I see you're going to be going over to Lollapalooza in October in Texas. It's at Abilene State Park. It is one of my very, very, very favorite van life meetups. And I've been going for the last 3 or 4 years, but this year I'm not going to be able to make it. I've made another commitment. It was up in the air. I wasn't sure I was going to get in the wagon wheel. It wasn't. I don't like parking away and then having to drive over at night because I get lost, going down the block at night. But as it turned out, in between, I made another commitment. So I'm not going to be there this year, but it is a fabulous event. And if you can make it, by all means, it's at Abilene State Park. They have a beautiful setup with a round a kitchen. It's called what is it called, Judy? I can't remember, but it's called the wagon circle. And in the middle of that particular camping area, there's a kitchen and bathrooms and everything. And then there's many more campsites all around the campground. But it's just a fabulous, fabulous event. And I'm sorry I'm going to be missing it this year. Hopefully next year. But I have another commitment that I've made now to go to Chasm, which is going to be in Lake Havasu, also at the end of October. So I know Outdoor Dash Travels. Oh, you got a spot. Cool, very cool. At Lisa's got a spot at Lollapalooza. I'm going to miss all of you guys, but I will be over at Chasm this year in Lake Havasu. And hopefully I'll be able to make it next year. I'll get in early enough that me and Lava Lindy are going to be doing some things together. And I'll be announcing that in a few months, but it's going to be quite an adventure. Let me just tell you this. We are going to have, I'm going to be calling it, I think I'm going to call it 2 hens, a kid, and a dog. But I'll be sharing more about it with you, and so will Lindy, but not probably until maybe about August, September. We'll start sharing what's going to be happening. But hey, Irma Velasquez is in the house saying hello, blessings to all. Thank you. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Wanderlust or Bust. What's happening with Elmer the goat? Elmer the goat. Did you see him? Is he just not the most adorable? If you haven't seen that short, go over and look at the short I did on Elmer. He's a baby goat, a baby goat. To make a long story short, a friend of mine and has a granddaughter that she's raising. Her granddaughter belongs to they have these groups at all the different schools throughout the county and probably the country that help children learn how to raise livestock and how to, take care of them, and teaches them those skills. Well, at the end of the semester, those animals are put up for sale, and they go to the butcher. Well, I guess you asked me, why didn't I get this? Well, I don't know why I didn't get it, but anyhow, my friend every year has to buy the goat. They have to pay for the goat, and then they sell the goat and they get the money back. Well, she was going to have to borrow the money to buy the goat because it's, several $100s. So I just said, you know what? I'll just buy the goat. I'll buy the goat for you, and I'm going to name him Elmer. He's going to be little Elmer. Well, after a name and everything, her granddaughter was telling me, well, they sell them at the fair, and then they go to someone's dinner table, I guess, because they're butchered. I was like, I am not sending any baby goat that I have named to be someone's Sunday dinner. That's just not happening. So I'm in pursuit of a home for Elmer because I can't keep Elmer in my backyard. My backyard already looks like something out of Sanford and Son. If I bring a goat to it now, my neighbors they're going to go crazy. They're already going crazy about my backyard. But if I bring a goat, that will be the final straw. And even though the homeowners association doesn't really do anything about backyards, I believe they might make an exception this time. But anyhow, let me go back and look at the comments. But that is what is happening with Elmer the goat. And I saw that Blake Shelton had given Jennifer Hudson when they were on The View together. Not The View, I'm sorry. What is that show? The Voice. Okay, I knew it was a V, but The Voice. He gave her a goat. So I thought, well, he and Gwen Stefani have a ranch. So I'm guessing maybe he got the goat from his ranch. So maybe he has other goats there. So I'm going to try and figure out maybe how to. I know he has a restaurant somewhere. So anyhow, I'm going to try. Anyone have any ideas how I can reach Blake Shelton and persuade him to take Elmer so Elmer can live his life out in a pasture somewhere eating grass instead of being eaten by someone? Let me know. But some people have also made some suggestions about some place that does goat therapy. But I want to make sure this is not just a fad. And when the therapy doesn't work or whatever, they close down. That Elmer goes back to the butcher. So I need to have the place vetted, or I think Blake Shelton, because I don't think he would ever butcher Elmer. But anyhow, that's the story of Elmer. So watch as the continuing saga of Elmer unfolds, and I try to find a a permanent home for Elmer. The only problem is, which I guess is not really a problem per se, but do you know, I'm going to have to buy Elmer back. I know. This has got to be the most expensive goat in history. I had to buy him. Well, I didn't have to, but I bought him to begin with to donate as a sponsor for my friend's granddaughter. And now, in order to get him back and spare him from ending up at the end of someone's fark, I have to buy him back at auction at the fair. So, anyhow, this is going to be an ordeal. So, I will take you with me to the fair when I hopefully am able to buy him back. And I will take you on the journey with me trying to find a home for Elmer. Oh my goodness, that little fella, he's so cute, he's so adorable. But anyhow, so Gia is laughing. I know, isn't it a crack up? Isn't it a crack up? Jessica was telling me, Mom, the things you get into. I know the things I get into. I mean, it seems so many things I get into seem like such a great idea at the start. And then by the time I'm midway through the process, it's like, I'm like, what in the heck was I thinking? See, I would never have met Elmer. I would never have named him. I would never have gotten attached to him if I had not bought him to begin with. But you know what? It is what it is. Oh my goodness. Gail says that's a riot. That will be a riot. I know. I know. And I'm also trying to keep it on the down low, sort of, because I don't want to bring a lot of attention, because I don't want PETA getting involved and going over wherever Elmer is living right now and creating a big O scene. And, so I'm like, oh gosh. Anyhow, it is what it is. Alma says April 11th is my birthday. Happy birthday, Alma. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So happy birthday, Alma. I found out, me and Lisa found out after I erased one of my best lives ever, that you can sing happy birthday without being dinged. Anyhow, Vaughn's on a Roll says, oh yeah, where's Lindy? Lindy is working right now. She works at a Walmart, so she is working. I guess Red must have asked where Lollapalooza is. It's in Abilene, Texas. Yeah, Lisa and I shared a camping spot last year, and it was so much fun. But Gia says, I've been wanting to meet up, but I'm nervous to travel alone in RV. Gia, I'm telling you, it is not as scary as you might think it is. It really is not. But then I've been traveling alone since I was a little kid. My mom used to put me on a bus to go to swimming lessons and then I'd walk over to my grandma's house, have lunch, and get on the bus back. She had a little note that she pinned the note to me that when I got on the bus, I handed to the driver, and I would sit behind the driver, and then I would get off right in front of where I had my swimming lessons. And then I had a note in my pocket that after I had lunch at my grandma's house, because she only lived a block from the swimming lessons, I would pin that note back on, get on the bus and give it to the driver. But that was what, 70 years ago, almost 65 years ago, and things were a lot different then than they are now. But it's not scary. The main thing you have to plan, I think, would be a good thing to do is to plan out how to find parking at night, because that can be a challenge if you don't know how to do it. But hit me up at gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail, Gia, and I will be happy to answer some questions for you. Also, HOWA, Home on Wheels Alliance, has they used to have a virtual coffee group every Sunday. And they also had a thing, I think Facebook called Let's Camp Together, where you kind of meet people to camp with and to travel with. So, and there are a lot of websites, for solo women who are van life. So, but at the meetups, you really can meet other people, like-minded folks to maybe travel with and to go to meetups and go to things with. So it really is a great thing to do, to go to these meetups. The most well-known one probably being the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, RTR, in Quartzsite. And every winter, starting in about October, people start converging on Quartzsite. And if you stay there for the winter at one of the long-term visitor centers, or visitor areas rather, on BLM land, you can pay $180 and stay from October through April, and you'll meet loads of people. You do have to be willing to approach people and say hi and introduce yourself, but you'll meet so many wonderful people. Hey, Nora's saying happy birthday to Alma. Yeah, everyone wish Alma a happy birthday. Hey, Freddie Schaefer saying howdy to Glow's people. You're one of Glow's people, Freddie. Oh, thank you, Red. Red dropped a link for the short to Elmer. Oh, he's so cute. And she told me he was gaining a lot of weight. I said, listen, start exercising that little fella and get him good and trim, because the more he weighs, the more expensive it is, the more per pound. So I said, before that, you need to really get him going, put him on I don't know what, I don't know. Don't starve the poor fellow, but exercise him so he stays in good shape, so he's not a big giant goat by the time, you know. Uh-oh. Looks like looks like I froze up for a minute there, folks. Sorry. Hey, Lindy is in the house. Someone was asking about you, Lindy. Hello, hello. Says, hi, I'm only here for a short time. I was telling them, Lindy, I didn't tell them a lot. I just said that we have an adventure we're going to do in around September, October. And that's one of the reasons that I'm not going to be going to Lollapalooza. I was going to go. I was trying to get a spot. And then in between getting a spot and not, I made another commitment. And that commitment is at another event. And you and I are going to be doing some things just prior to that are going to be exciting, that we'll be announcing probably maybe the beginning of September, I'm guessing. What do you think, Lola? I'm sorry, Lindy. I told you guys I am out of it today. I am truly out of it today. Lindy, oh my goodness. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Judy says she's driving now. She can't really talk. Carol, see if there are any petting zoos in your area. That is something. I think I would rather Elmer be able to be on a farm where he could run around and be free, but that is an option. I mean, a petting zoo is certainly much better than the butcher block. Absolutely, no question about that. And Gail Resources says, goats are so fun, very dog-like. Had one who was awesome. Oh, well, he's really cute. He's very bonded to my friend's granddaughter, because she goes over and feeds him every day. So, but he was very cute, very cute. Hey, Crystal and Lagringa, hello, hello. Crystal says, I'm driving, so I can't text, but I just want to say hi, I'm listening. Oh, thank you, thank you. Gian Nicholas says, may be able to rent the goat out for weed control. that could be, But I travel so much, I wouldn't have time to rent him out and to take care of that. But I'm hoping either Blake Shelton, and I've got to do a campaign to catch up and find him, or maybe a goat therapy place. Sylvia is saying hello, hello. Hey, Jose Zaya says, I'm 63 years old and I'm disabled. I live on $934 combined with SSI and Social Security. Do you live in a van, or are you a nomad, Jose, or do you live in a home or sticks and bricks? One of the things I wanted to talk about today, I'm going to say hello to a few more people, then I'm going to talk about the topic of the day and see what you all think about it. And we'll go for there. Let me get, no, I was going to get the comment, but I'll just go from my memory, which may not be that great. But, oh, Gail Resources said maybe his Twitter. That's a great idea, Gail. I didn't think of that. I'm not, media savvy, so I don't, other than YouTube, and who knows, it's questionable how savvy I am on this, but I will check that out. Thank you, Gail, for that suggestion. Um, Three Generations says, oh my gosh, you're right. It is April Fool's. Three Generations saying, April Fool's Day, everyone. Carol, my yard needs Elmer and it's fenced in. I can't start the mower, anyone, but I can love on Elmer. Hey, Three Generations, if you're serious, send me an email and we'll talk. Now, someone was asking me, well, who was it that was asking me the other day? They said, well, how are you going to get Elmer? Oh, the grandma was asking me, well, how are you going to get Elmer to his new destination? And I was thinking, well, maybe I could rent a little trailer, like a little, because I'm not into towing stuff. That's why I don't have an Airstream. If I was into towing stuff, I'd have one of those Airstream base camps, because I love them. But I'm scared to death to tow anything. So, but maybe I can get a little something that has slats in it so he can breathe. And I don't know. I'll figure out something. I was wondering if I could get a big crate and put a thing on the back of my van and secure him down. But just my luck, we'd be going down the freeway and Elmer would go flying off onto the freeway. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my goodness. Sunshine says they're less liability than a dog and smell better. Plus, they keep the trees trimmed and lawn mowed. That's true. That is true. Three Generations is saying, love you, Lindy. We all love Lindy. Isn't that the truth? Uh, People rent goats out for weed control. I bet they do. Gia says, I bet they do. GIA Nicholas, they do. But I just don't have the time to take on a project like that. Hey, Irma Velasquez says, hello, hello, hello. And oh, thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, everyone, hit that like button. It does help the algorithm. I don't know how, but it does. So go ahead and hit that. Uh, oh, thank you, Wanderluster Bus. Blake's Ranch. Let me take a picture of this with my phone. Blake's Ranch is called 10 Point Ranch in Oklahoma. Thank you. I knew you guys would come through with some information. I knew you would come through with the goods. Let me take a picture of this. Um, 10 Point Ranch in Oklahoma. Okay, well, that's a good start for me to start investigating. Thank you, thank you. Julie Park rather says Elmer will be forever grateful. I know he will. Wouldn't you be grateful if you weren't going to end up on someone's farm? Look into the Gentle Barn in Southern California. All right, I will do that. The Gentle Barn. Let me take a picture of that too. The Gentle Barn. All right. Thank you. You guys are really coming through here. Freddie says, I worked for county agent working with FFA and 4-H kids. The model is set up to be a business model of buy, manage care and expenses, and then sale to cover their business and pay off the bank. Yeah, yeah. So, well, they don't have to pay off the bank now because I bought the goat for them, but the grandmother was having to take out the loan, and really, it was a bit of a of a burden, you know, to have that loan for that many months. But hey, Lisa's saying hello to Stormy. Hello, Stormy. Stormy Rivers. Okay. Sunshine says, oh no, I can't watch if he goes for, oh gosh. Oh, don't even say that, Sunshine. I can't watch if he goes for 10,000. You have to leave him. Please don't say that. Do not even think that. I'm hoping he doesn't go for uh, 500 is a lot, but I'm hoping he doesn't go for more than 500. I paid 400 in some form to begin with, I think, as I recall. I'm hoping, oh my God, he will be bigger because he will have gotten bigger. He was a really tiny baby when we got him, and he's still little. So I'm telling him, don't exercise that goat, exercise him. And maybe someone won't want him if he has real hard muscles because maybe that won't make for good meat. I don't know. Anyhow, Jose says, I own my house, but it seems like the city is trying to take my house and have me put into some kind of housing. Now, when you say they're trying to take your house, Jose, do you mean because they're taxing you? A lot of people have homes that they own, but the taxes are so exorbitant that people who even have paid off houses are having to sell their homes because the taxes are now more than the mortgage when they originally bought the home. Hey, Amy S says, how are you? I'm doing good, Amy. How are you? Um, when is Lollapalooza? Lollapalooza is the week before um, Halloween, and it starts, I think, on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the week before Halloween. That's when it is every year. Lola used to do it because the idea being that it would be at a time when people were traveling across country to get to Arizona. So she thought on the route there, she'd have this meetup um, in Texas so people could stop. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And it's a wonderful, wonderful event. Hey, camping with Christy. Ah, the goat fund, $10. Thank you. Thank you, Christy. I got to write that down. Oh my goodness. I will keep track of this. The goat fund, the Elmer fund. Okay. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I thank you and Elmer thanks you. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, there's $10 towards Elmer. So, but anyhow, yes. Uh, who wants to go to Anza Borrego to see the wildflowers? Diana Anders is asking. I'm definitely planning to go over there and see. They call it, I guess, a super bloom. And I'm guessing that this year it's going to be huge because of all the rain. So there should be a super, super, super bloom this year, Diana. So anyone want to join Diana in going to see the super bloom? Sunshine says, same here. The city, now is the city taxing you out of your house, Sunshine, or the county taxing you out? Red says she flew from LA to Hayward when I was about 11 or 12, and I had the note pinned to myself too. Oh my goodness. Yep. Back in the day, things weren't happening like they're happening now, the crazy things. Three Generations says, Lola cannot sponsor Lollapalooza this year. She's asking for someone to take over this year. Yes, I actually had contacted Lola and said I was willing to take it over if someone, that was before I made the other commitment, could do it. But then RV Rebel Girl stepped up, and she and some other people are going to take it over, at least for this year. So yes, there is someone who's going to be handling it, and that's RV Rebel Girl. So, and she's been at the last several, so she knows how it goes. She knows all the activities they have. So I think it's in really good hands and will be a wonderful, fabulous event. Uh, yeah, I get to see you. Oh, Camp Here with Christy. Yay, I get to see you live. Yay, thank you, Christy. Thank you for your donation. I really appreciate that. And Elmer, bah, bah, he says, I'm trying to imitate what he would be saying. Let's say Red was going to her grandparents' house too when she had the note on her. Oh my goodness. Jose says, I've been trying play the stocks to make enough money. Yipes, unless you know what you're doing, Jose, that can be really very dangerous financially. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying it can be a problem if you don't know what you're doing. It can be kind of like gambling a little bit. Wanderluster Bus says, my brother and I were put on a plane at 8 and 9, maybe a year younger, with our 17-year-old aunt from Los Angeles to Davenport. Oh, we should have had notes pinned on us. Yeah, well, I used to do it every week, getting swimming lessons, because we lived across the street from a public swimming pool, and my mom wanted to make sure that we knew how to swim. So, Gia says, I think my fear is more of breaking down somewhere alone. Gia, that is a valid concern, breaking down. But I think there are things to do. You can have, first of all, make sure you have good cell phone connection. The other thing would be to make sure that people know your route and know, if you're anticipating getting somewhere by 4 o'clock, let people know, I'll call you at 4 o'clock, or maybe I'll call you at 8 o'clock, so that if you don't call, they kind of know your route and know maybe there's a problem. But also, making sure you have all your maintenance on your vehicle, your regular maintenance. I keep my vehicles up with oil changes anytime I go to, and I have a mechanic I trust. So when I go there and they say, well, you need this hose change, or you need this, or you need that, I get it done. I just get it done. I think that's the best way to avoid that, is to not only do the maintenance when something goes wrong, but having good preventative maintenance. That is so critical, having good preventative maintenance. Gia, or I'll say GIA. Oh, thank you for darling Elmer, Nana Van Glam. Do-do-do-do-do. Thank you, Nana Van Glam. Oh my goodness. Elmer, I'll thank you for Elmer too. Elmer thanks you too. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be bidding on little Elmer, but I don't want to make a real big deal of it, because I don't want someone going there with the idea that they'll get some publicity by outbidding me. I don't want to make it a big, too big, but I want to secure his home. So we'll see. A local area farm. Yeah, I am starting to look at places now, Nora. I am really starting to I'm looking at the goat yoga. And then there was a place I saw on the news. It was a place where a woman, it's a retreat for people who have had a child die, and they go there to deal with the animals and to heal. And she has all kinds of animals, including, I believe, goats. So I thought, how cool would that be for Elmer to turn into a therapy goat? That would be just a cool mission in life for him, wouldn't it be? Hey, Sylvia and Peg Robinson, hello. But anyhow, hey, CC Camper lady, hello. I wanted to talk about the public perception of nomads and van life. And I wanted to get your idea, those of you who are not involved in van life, or who have never been a nomad, who haven't been involved in van life. What is your opinion about nomads? And what prompted me to ask this question, to pose this question, was a comment that I got on a video that I did last week. Last week, I did a video of a gentleman named Don. He's 73 years old. He lives in his minivan. And by all accounts, according to him, he graduated from Princeton, which I believe, and has a master's from University of Penn, from Penn. And I talked to him for a considerable length of time, most of the morning, and he really is brilliant. I mean, really brilliant. I learned more about geothermal energy sources and He was talking and telling me about a country that uses geothermal and how that could be one of the solutions for our energy problems. And then he was also talking about um, um, some other things in terms of magnets and how that can be a source of energy, things I didn't even know about. Before I go any further, let me just say thank you again. Peg, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the donations for Elmer. Oh my goodness, you got a donation from Peg. I have Red Riding Hood. Oh my goodness, Lisa. Oh, the Elmer Fund. Thank you, Lisa from Outdoor Dash Travels. Oh, Red Riding Hood again. And Peg Robinson. Thank you, all of you folks. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I have, go back and let me know, hey, I gave such and such so I can acknowledge you. But thank you. Thank you on behalf of Elmer. And when I do, I got to write these things down. I don't have a pen with me. You know what? I will go back, and there's a way you can go in and see for a specific date, and I will go back because I want to do something. When I buy Elmer, I think I'm going to say, do something, maybe have a sign and say, courtesy of, and then have all your guys' names who've donated to Elmer. But anyhow, I'll think of something. But I did this video earlier in the week with Don, and Don, instead of, he was talking about how he could have gone on for a PhD in energy field. And I believe had he done that, he probably would have made some, some really groundbreaking discoveries and made some remarkable progress in the area of engineering energy sources because he's so brilliant. But he decided not to do that. Now, he did share with me an event that happened to him in his life, and it was particularly violent. And I'm not going to go into detail because that's his personal business. But I personally think that may have also impacted some of his decision. But at any rate, he decided that he wanted to pursue a spiritual path, seeking his spiritual awareness and growth. And the comment that came on that video was something along the lines of that, and I'm doing a video on this next week, but I'm just bringing it to you guys first because often I will bring everything to you that I can first. But the person made the comment that, I don't know if I wrote it down here, but basically that he thought van life is a trap that kind of sucks people in and turns them into selfish individuals who pursue, basically he was saying a life of just, eating, drinking, cooking, enjoying nature, and basically doing nothing productive, just existing, using resources. And he said other things too. And he did say, it's not evil. He's not saying it's evil, but it's unproductive. And basically, from what I'm putting this in my own words, but basically living worthless lives where they are not doing anything that matters. And, and I thought about that. And I thought, you know what? Who gets to say what matters? Who gets to say what another person should be doing? And that if they're not, basically he was saying that Don did not live up to his potential and could have contributed a lot. But, so are monks that are living in a monastery, are they living worthless lives? Are nuns and priests who, determine, because he did mention also that the Bible talks about, having children and, populating the world. I forget the term, but, having children, and that, he basically was living a selfish life. And I thought, you know what about Paul in the Bible? Paul in the Bible, he was one of the main disciples in the Bible. And didn't he write most of the New Testament? And there's no evidence that he ever had any children. So was his life unproductive? I wanted to get you all's opinion and voice on it. Oh my goodness. Oh, Coco Cat. Thank you. $50 for Save Elmer. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Thank you, Coco Cat. Oh my goodness. Elmer has some friends out there, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. I I'm going to be posting some more pictures of Elmer, and I'm going to start posting on Instagram. Finally, I'm going to start posting. I've got, I don't know, 100, 200, couple of followers on Instagram, and I'm going to start posting over there to give them something also. But thank you. But anyhow, back to the comment about van life being a trap that sucks you in and turns you into a selfish person who, just likes to be alone. And what do you all think of that? I'm going to do a video and I'm going to say clearly what I think about that. I will say this now. I absolutely disagree, but everyone is entitled to their opinion. And I don't block comments or cut them off unless they're vulgar or really inappropriate or hateful. And that wasn't any of those things. That comment was not. But I felt that it was absolutely off base, and I think it was clear that it was a comment made by someone who's never been involved, or if they were involved in van life, they didn't meet the people that I met, who are caring, loving, kind, some of the most generous people I've ever met. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that comment, and what do you think about van life folks? Do you think that there are people who've just dropped out or are wandering around doing nothing with their lives? What do you think? Hey, Tim's in the house. Hey, Mo, bang for your bucks. My friend Tim is here. Thank you. Um, Sunshine says you'd have better luck getting Miranda to take Elmer. Huh. Well, I'm willing to have anyone take him who would treat him right and let him live a good life. So if you guys have any suggestions, email them to me at gloriouslifeonwheels@gmail.com. And because I'm going to be, the fair is in the end of June. I think it's for about 16 or 20 days or something. And it usually ends on the 4th or 5th of July. So I need to start working on this now to get a place for him. So and he needs to go directly from the fair to, because you can't leave him at the fair. Once you buy him, you have to take him. So I can't take him home. So I've got to start making all these arrangements now for Elmer and have someone available and ready to come pick him up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I will get the bid and get him. But oh, Lindy's got to go. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Lindy. I'll be talking to you. Take care. We'll be talking. Jose lives in Hammond, Indiana, he was saying. Okay. So Southern Hospitality says, hi guys, checking in, safe here in Arkansas. Well, glad to hear that, Southern Hospitality. Glad to hear that. Truth Seeker saying this is the great tribulation spoken of. Well, yeah, it does look like these could very well be the end times, Truth Seeker. Lots of things are happening for sure. 3 of 7 seals have been opened. Well, it is looking a lot more and more like things are getting close to the time that they speak of in the Bible. I do agree with that, Truth Seeker. Simply C says, I'm taking care of my 2 grandsons, so won't be able to chat much, but want to say hello to everyone. Oh, thank you, Simply C. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you for your comments, Truth Seeker. Outdoor Dash Travel is saying hi to Stacy. Yes, yes. Camping with Chrissy, $10. Thank you, Camping with Chrissy. Oh my goodness. You're just, holy moly. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Elmer's fun is growing by leaps and bounds. Lisa, can you keep track of this for me? Because I'm not keeping track very well. I know I can go in later and see what was given today. But I'm not always the greatest at doing that. But I do want to keep track of this so I can make sure and put these funds aside for Elmer. Why would they send someone send the animals to auction if there is someone wanting the animal. Well, okay, here's how it happens. Usually the people who buy the animal, well, the process is they take him to fair and he goes to auction. Because if he's not auctioned, they're trying to get the best price possible. So if I offer a certain amount, how do they know that at auction he wouldn't get more? So that's why they take them to auction. But also, there could be someone else, I doubt it. There could be someone else who buys him just for another reason. But usually, most of the people who buy him at auction are buying these animals for meat because he has been castrated. So he can't be a breeder. If he hadn't been castrated, he could have, when they're little and they're going to auction, they castrate him. So he can't be used to breed, so he's not good for that, and he's not good for milk. So obviously he's going for meat. Diana Boss, hello, is saying hello. Adele said, my friend, oh, your friends just got back from Anza Borrego and the flowers are beautiful. Well, thank you, Adele, for telling me that. I'm going to try, maybe not this weekend, but maybe next weekend, to go out there and see the flowers. I hope maybe next weekend, but one of these next 2 or 3 weekends. Red says, I may be in San Antonio for the Joyce Meyer conference. Oh, cool. I should have a tiny trailer by then instead of Hawaii for me. Oh my goodness. Well, Hawaii, it's a short time. A trailer is for, maybe a lifetime, Red. So I think I would take the trailer and then do Hawaii another time. But, everyone's got to do what works for them. And hey, Van City Adventure, hello. Red says she's going to Portugal in July. Oh, cool, very cool. Alma says, open your mailbox. Oh, okay. At Alma, I actually haven't been to my mailbox for probably a couple months. I do need to go to my mailbox. All right, I'll go over and check that out, Alma. Jose says they raised my property tax and they keep bothering me with keeping up with the yard work and cleaning off trash and that people throw in my yard. Oh my goodness. Jose, is there not a church in your area that would come over and maybe help clean up your yard, do you think? There are a lot of churches here that have groups that go around and help clean up people's yards and do little tasks at their house and paint and different things. I wonder if you reached out to some churches in your area, if they might not be willing to send a crew over to help you take care of your yard. But yeah, the property taxes are raising everywhere, Jose. That is terrible. It really is. Diana says prep and maintenance. Yes. Sunshine says county and city taxes have doubled in the last 8 years, and the city wants a fourth of what I paid for my house. Wow. In order to hook up to their water and sewer, and new roof costs as much as I paid for the house. Where are you located, Sunshine? What area are you in? You may have said it earlier and I may have missed it. Oh my goodness. I know I was talking to, and I don't think this is telling tales out of school. I think she would be okay with me sharing this. Letty from Living Life with Letty, I ran into her in Quartzsite and she was telling me she had sold her house and bought an RV because the maintenance and the upkeep on her house plus the taxes, it was just more than she could keep up with. And so a lot of people, I was reading about areas in Chicago area where the house taxes are $15,000, $20,000. Many people bought these houses 30, 40 years ago and they've appreciated in value. So as a result, the house taxes are astronomical. I know in California, we have Prop 13. Thank you, Jesus, because my house taxes would be out of sight if I was not under Prop 13. And the legislators keep trying every year to dismantle Prop 13. But I do believe there would be riots in the street if they dismantled by seniors who couldn't afford to live in their homes if they dismantled. And I know for sure some people would be certainly thrown out of office, voted out, because Prop 13, and that's one of the reasons why Prop 13 was implemented in California, which limits the amount that your house taxes can be increased each year, I think to 1 to 1.5% if you've grandfathered in under a certain clause. So yeah, so a lot of people are now moving because they don't want to lose their Prop 13. Diana Boss says, for saving Elmer. Thank you again, all of you guys, Nana Van Glam, and all you guys who are working and helping me save Elmer. Red says, sounds like my mom, Carol. She got a swim lessons when I was little in Louisiana, or in LA rather, somewhere, a public pool. Yep, yep. Oh, thank you. TTV Legacy says, great cooking tutorials. Much respect you. Reminds me of my grandma. Don't we love our grandmas? Oh my goodness. GIA Nicholas says, thank you for such wonderful advice. You're saying GIA correctly. Okay, GIA or GI? GIA, okay. Vaughn's on a Rose says frozen. Is it frozen again? It froze a bit. Maybe I'm at the old comments. All right, I'm going through. So anyhow, what do you guys think about that comment that that van life? Do you think that do you consider van life folks as homeless if they're in a van out of choice? They weren't forced into it. What do you think? Colleen Kirby says, hello, I've never lived van life. It is my goal to live the RV van life. I'm a nursing assistant and would like to be able to work and travel as the mood strikes me. The freedom is calling. And that's a lot of people, even who went into van life because they had to for financial reasons. They love it now, the freedom. And Don was telling me, he thought about moving to Puerto Rico because he could get a little place there and he could still collect his Social Security. But he said in the end, he didn't want to give up the freedom. And so many people, Red says, yes, it's a great option for many people. It is a great option for many people. Hey, Robin, Jan Can Van, hello, hello. How are you doing? Robin Jan Can Van said, you're full-time van lifers. So do you think of yourself as homeless, Robin Jan Can Van? Or do you think of yourself, what do you think of yourself as? How do you identify in terms of homeless, travelers, nomads? Vita Gasson, thank you. Yes, that's what he said. Be fruitful and multiply. That was the comment. Be fruitful and multiply. Well, so if you don't have children and you're not fruitful and you don't multiply, you're not fulfilling your purpose in life. Again, what about nuns? What about priests? What about people in monasteries? What about Paul in the Bible? I don't think did Samson ever have children? I can think of many. I don't know. Did Elijah or Elisha have children? I don't know. But I think there are many, many people in the Bible that accomplished great things and were heralded that didn't have children and were actually, wasn't Paul a nomad? Didn't he travel all over? He didn't live in one place. Many of the people in the Bible who were highly regarded and were considered children of God and wonderful disciples, they were nomads. So I to say that, I don't know, but I'm going to go more into this when I do my video, air my video next week. In fact, I'm going to do another video on this. I'm going to do two on this, and one's going to be, I think, really interesting. Well, I think they're both going to be interesting, but one's going to have a whole lot of different perspectives, I think. Who is it that said haters will be haters? Let's see, who was that? I saw that as I was scrolling down. I missed it. Let's see. Mo Bang will start a bid war. No, we don't. We don't need to start a bid war. Um, who was it that was saying? Okay, but someone was saying haters will be haters. I don't think the person was meaning to be a hater. I think this is really how they believe that people who live van life are wasting their life. That they're selfish. They only want to live for themselves. And all I can say again is this person clearly has not met many of the people in van life that I have met who are the kindest, most generous, supportive people in any community I've ever come across. Nora says, Carol, it's just always about people judging others, whether it's van life, single life, gay, straight, etc. People are always going to judge someone who chooses a different path. And I think that this is true, that, um, people don't sometimes judge something that they will often judge something that they don't understand. And he was saying that he thought it's okay for a few years, to get out of their rat race, the toxic rat race, but then to go back into society. But no one has the right to tell anyone else what is a valuable life and what is not a valuable life. That's what it really comes down to for me. And uh Rob and Jan Ken Van says, well, we do find we have become more reclusive in some ways than we used to be, but some of that is how the world has changed too. You know what? I would like to hear more about that, Rob and Jan Can Van. Would you be interested or willing to come up? I'm going to drop a link if you're willing to. Now, everyone who knows me knows that a lot of times when I try and drop a link, I mess things up. But glory, hallelujah, I got a link there. So Rob and Jan Can Van, if you would like to come up, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions about that, about being full-time van lifers and how you think people perceive you, because it looks like you're younger. And I wonder if there's a difference how people look at someone who's older versus someone who's younger, a couple versus someone who's a single. Um, Wander Luster Bus says, that's ignorant. I read that comment. Most are working and even more are retired, having put in decades contributing to society. That is true. Many, many are working, and many, many. Um, I was talking to someone the other day. Actually, I was emailing back and forth with someone the other day, and she was telling me how, and this is so true, how, and I think even more so for women, how she had spent most of her life raising her family, sacrificing for her children, doing this, and that how she lost being the person who she was before. And that she felt after her kids were grown and out of the house, it was time for her to go back and reclaim herself. And getting involved in van life allowed her to do that. Here I see Rob and Jan Can Van.
Be in here with me.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I haven't
We're having a
showered
hard
yet
time
today.
hearing you. Can you go a little louder?
Sure. Can you hear us now?
You're real low, real low.
Don't know where to fix that here.
Maybe if you get closer.
Closer?
Well, no, it's not.
I'm not sure why I had to. I tried a couple times to get in here. Can you hear us if we talk loud?
We can't. How can you guys hear them? I'm having a hard time hearing them. Maybe everyone else can hear them, but I'm having a hard time. Sonda says van life has its advantages, and Coco Cat says being alone doesn't mean you're selfish. That's true. That is so true. Nora says I don't think it's anyone's. Oh, you're going up. Okay.
There we go.
That's better.
Yeah, we just are not hearing you. I don't know why.
Really? I don't know why either. Let me just see.
Now, can everyone hear?
My mic says it's on.
Press more.
Okay, we're having. If you can hear someone, if everyone can hear, would you give me a thumbs up and let me know you can hear?
Yeah, it looks like
Okay,
the volume.
I'm gonna go up and see if people can let me know, can you hear them? Everyone. Uh-oh, they're off. Yipes. Okay, but several people are commenting. Red says, my brother who is a cop in LA, had a negative attitude towards me living in my RV, even though I was never going to do it long term and only ended up doing it for a year. Patty says, if someone is living on money he earned, like pension or Social Security, after working and contributed on or savings, it's none of your business if he wants to do nothing. I think actually, even if someone is young and or whatever age, even if they haven't worked their whole lives, if that's the lifestyle they choose, my thing is, as long as you're not hurting anyone else or harming anyone else, whose business is it? Tina the Outsider says, I'm using van life to survive, and I'm working and going places when I can afford to. Yep. Hey, one of the holy, my sister in love, says she joined late, but she's here. Welcome, Amy. She says, was in the garden planting peppers. Oh, my sister-in-law and sister-in-love has an amazing, it's called Spanky's. I'm gonna be doing a giveaway not too long in the distant future, in the near future rather, of her hot sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Let me see if Rob and Jan, if we can hear them again. Hello, can we hear you now?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, it sounds like you're like real low, like on a 1 to 10, you're on a 1.
I don't know.
But yeah, we can hardly hear you. I don't know why. I don't know
either. It says everything's working fine on my end.
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit, and maybe we can talk for a few minutes, but
Okay.
it's very, very low. It's coming across.
Okay. So in terms of what we think about van life, you want to know how we are perceived, or what did you want to know?
Yeah, how do people who are not in van life seem to perceive you? How do they seem to look at you with a side eye? Do they think that you're just wasting your life away? And family, friends, what do people think about your living in van life?
It's all over the place. We have family who are very supportive and very excited and think they're happy that at our age we're living our dream and doing what we want to do. And then there's others that call us gypsies and kind of make fun of us in a fun, loving way, and are kind of, I think, incredulous that we want to do something like this, and we sold everything to do this when we had a nice condo and security and everything. So I think it's all over the map. And then going by people either think it's so cool and they're honking at us and waving, and others are like looking at us like, you live in a van? That's weird. So it's all over the place.
Right. So basically, for those that can't hear very well, Jan was saying that they have family who's very supportive and thinks it's cool and, a great adventure. And then there's others that jokingly tease them, about being gypsies. And then the same reception for people out in the public. Some think it's cool and some don't. But have you found people who are really judgmental in a harsh way that think, you're bums or something? Have you met people like that?
No, actually we haven't had any issues like that. So that's been lucky for us. We haven't really had anyone really negative against us in that manner. Maybe because we do have a newer vehicle, maybe that helps, because we have a 2020 ProMaster and my husband built it out. So, and it's badged and everything with our name on it. So we're kind of showing ourselves out here. We're not hiding or kind of, I think people sometimes do judge people based on the look of their vehicle, which is sad to me. That it shouldn't matter whether you have a new vehicle, old vehicle, what you're driving, how you choose to do your van life. But some people do judge based on the look of your vehicle, I think.
Well, that, Jan just made a good point about how she thinks that people often judge based on the look of your vehicle. If you kind of look like you're down and out and the vehicle is kind of beat up and stuff, that people judge you. And it's unfortunate, but that's how society is. That they have a newer 2020 ProMaster, so people seem to be more And it's funny how people make character assignments based on your perceived financial status.
Yep.
Whereas if you're in a beat up van all of a sudden you may be a creepy person or, you know, a lurker or a criminal. Whereas if you're a new van, you're a great, you know, I mean, isn't it crazy how people make those
Well,
kind of judgments based on financial appearances?
And the funny thing is, somebody in an old van could have lots of money in the bank and just chose to go that route. And somebody could have a brand new van and have it mortgaged to the hilt because they couldn't really afford it. So you really
Isn't that true?
judge, right?
It's the same thing with houses. You can have a person in a very, look at the, who is it? Warren Buffett. Doesn't he live in the same house he lived in 50 years ago? So you can have someone who's living in almost a mansion who's almost going into foreclosure, and someone who's living in a very modest home who has millions of dollars in assets. So yeah, those are very good points. Now, Rob and Jan, is that your YouTube channel, Rob and Jan Can Van?
Yes, it is.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go over and check out. Thank you. I'm going to take you down now, but thank
Nice
you
talking
very
to you.
much for coming up. Globies, go over and check out Rob and Jan Can Van and check out their YouTube channel. So that's their perspective, and I think that's a good point. Isn't it funny how we so often assign character traits, whether you're an honest person, a decent person, a good person, a bad person, based on how financially successful you look like you are. I've seen that. I have seen, and I have myself experienced going into, I'm not going to name the store, but I've gone into this department store really kind of looking a little bit bummy and had security follow me all over the store. I've gone in the same store dressed really nicely and have people running up to me, can they help me? So, it's just crazy, crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, folks, you know what? It is, oh my goodness, it's 10 after 4. So Triathlete New York says, been missing you. Sorry, my mom was in the hospital. Oh my goodness. A month and broke my elbow Wednesday. Just remember, oh my goodness. Oh, Triathlete, I hope your mom is better. And I'm so sorry you broke your elbow, but we'll be praying for your mom. Let us know your mom's name so we can call out her name in prayer. But hey, Vita Gaston, hello, hello. Well, I am going to be heading out of here shortly, but I want to see if I can acknowledge anyone I haven't before I leave. Ralph Mousehun says, I do feel time is so close for God to come. I think you could be right, Ralph. I really do. Hey, Vicky Schweitzer, hello, hello. Anyone else that I've missed, that I want to make sure, because we got to get out of here. Hey, Sissy's Journey, saying thank you to Outdoor Dash Travels and Wanderluster Bus. Well, anyone, okay, Jose Zayas says, I don't like asking for people for help. Don't even apply for food stamps because of the way they treat you in those places. I know, Jose, sometimes it can be hard to ask for help. And I know that, you know, you probably a very proud person and like to do things on your own. But sometimes we need other people. We truly do. And if it's on the verge of you possibly being run out of your home, I would say it's time to ask for help. I'm not telling you you have to or trying to tell you what to do, but sometimes we all need help at various points in our lives. I've needed help. Chances are, if you live long enough, everyone is going to need help and assistance from someone, whether financial, emotional support, some type of help. And I used to have a very hard time asking for help too, Jose. And I used to have a hard time receiving things from people. I was very good at giving, but very hard at receiving. And I remember my best friend telling me, you really need to learn how to accept things from people who want to give them to you. And that stayed in my mind. And it's something I've had to work on because it's just something. And my mom, I've thought back to it, and my mom was that way. She would give, but she never wanted to accept anything from anyone. And so, sometimes when you don't accept things, you deny another person of the privilege and the blessing of being able to give. And that really fills their heart and makes them feel good about themselves. So that's all I would say, Jose. And you have to do what you think is best for you. Nora is saying, laughing out loud, Nomad Man, Elmer is a goat that Carol bought. Oh, did I miss something Nomad Man said about, oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Nana Van Glam says, hooray for grandma power. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, Keeping Up with Colorado says, I don't consider van lifers as homeless, but the authorities do. True. Van Life Adventures and Open Mind Perspective says, I'm not homeless. I live in a van. I just don't think of van lifers as homeless. I really do not. I just don't. Peg Robinson says, home is a home. Some come with wheels. Triathlete in New York says, people live in advance because I love to travel. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a home, meant to say live in vans. It's a home, it's just on wheels and you get to go anywhere. That's so true. Jose says, in fact, I want to get out of SSI, and the reason I'm trying to help out my son is because I want him off of SSI also. Well, sometimes you have to, it's best to take the help while you can, and then when you don't need it anymore. My thing is with SSI, though, sometimes when you have medical problems, it helps, take care of your medical because it provides also medical. Triathlete New York says, no people that live in RVs the same as people living in tiny homes. You can hook it up to your car and go on the road. That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's see. Robin Jan Ken Van says, we're not homeless, we're houseless. We have a van home. Very good point. Very good point. Red says, I never lived in a trailer in my life, but there's also nothing wrong with that. Nope. Hey, Chef Santa Travels, hello. Just saying hello, can't stay. I'll have a good week. Oh, see you next week. Oh, so glad you dropped in, Santa Travels. Bob Wells last week was asking Chef Santa Travels, do you have a beard like Santa? Kathy Smith said, where is it written that we are obligated to be productive our whole lives? Why is enjoying life perceived as selfish? Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. So true. Why, I'm not even going to get involved in it. I'll go more into it in the video that I do next week. Red says many people in the Bible did not have children. So true. Van Leff Adventures and Open Mind says Jesus was a nomad too. He was the ultimate nomad. Thank you, Lisa, for reminding. Hit that like button again. Hit that like button, up or down, either way. Just hit it. All right. Colleen Kirby says, sorry, but I think they need to stop multiplying. At least slow it down. Well, they say that part of our energy and our problems are because of the Earth's population. Oh my goodness. Wanderluster Bus says, neither did Jesus. He had no place to lay his head. People live where they choose. No one has the liberty to label it. Good point, Wanderluster Bus. Good point. Vaughn's on a roll. Personally, I resent that he assumed that we're all living off services, resources. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Again, I have seen so many people, nomads, who have rallied around people. Look at you guys helping Elmer, a goat, for crying out loud. Those of you who are nomads and aren't. But I think people who are like-minded understand and don't judge other people. And I think that sometimes you have to expand your mind to realize that you can include everyone without kicking anyone out, and that everyone deserves to be considered valuable. Everyone. Triathlete says, I think it's cool to live in a home on wheels. It is very cool. Nifty Traveler. Hello, Nifty Traveler says, I think whether someone is homeless or not while living in a van is based on whether or not they have any other choice. If I could get off the road and into a home or apartment, then I'm not homeless. I don't know. I don't know, even if a person doesn't have another choice, if they've made it into a home, if it fills their needs, if they can cook in it, sleep in it, use the bathroom in it, if they can do those things and it's a comfortable home, even if it may not be where they want to end up or where they don't want to stay permanently, it's still a home, I think. It's still a home. But that's an interesting topic. Um, Nana Van Glam says, my 2 cents, courage is love based, judgment is fear based. I like that, Nana Van Glam. I really like that. Courage is love based, judgment is fear based. I would also say that sometimes judgment is just ignorance based. It's like not having all the facts or not being exposed to the particular group that you have classified a certain way. And that if perhaps you had more exposure to that group, you would have a better understanding. Triathlete New York says, no, they're doing what they wanted to do that they may not have been able to do earlier, and that's awesome. Who wants to sit in one place and work all the time? The person I've been emailing back and forth, and hopefully I'll have her come on one of the lives one of these days. She was talking about how she thought about, did she want to spend the rest of her life sitting looking at four walls? And she decided that was not how she wanted to spend the rest of her life. And so many people, especially older folks, are sitting in a room and they have the ability to drive, but they're sitting in a room, isolated, living lives in silent misery and lonely when they don't have to be. But that's just my take. Kathy Smith says some of the most selfish people on the planet are business people who put profits ahead of what is best for humanity. Good point. Good point, Kathy. Well, you know what? Outdoor trash. I'm sorry, Lisa. Outdoor dash travels. Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy today. Says to each his own. Happiness is only measured by yourself. So true. Very good point, Lisa. Very good point. All right. We're going to start wrapping this up. Can anyone who is a content creator please put a C up there so we can go over and show you some love? And do go over and check out Rob and Jan Can Van and check out their channel. They're full time, and see what they have to share about their full-time van life. So anyone, again, if you're full-time, if you're a content creator full-time, put a C so we can go over and show you some love. My speakers are low. They are fine. My speakers are low. What speakers? Hold on. Oh gosh, I wish you guys had told me that they were fine. Okay, it was just my speakers, huh? Sorry, Rob and Jan Can Van, that was me. Lisa, you should have been here with me doing live, telling me. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to turn up. I'll have to talk to you off camera, Lisa, and you can tell me how to turn up my speakers next time, so that last time I did a live and had people on, it was fine. So something must have happened between then and now. Okay, well, I'm way behind on the comments, so doggone it, I didn't get to. But Jan Can Van, come back next week and we will talk again after I get my speakers adjusted. So apparently it was me. I should have known it was me. I should have known that. Oh my goodness. All right. I'm looking to see any C's. I'm way behind. I'm finally getting down. I was so far behind. I'm finally seeing now that you guys can hear them. Oh my goodness. Oh, well. Rob and Jan Can Van, come on back next week and we'll talk some more. Adele says, watch Bob Wells' latest video of the veteran living in a cargo trailer. He got rid of his type 2 diabetes with proper nutrition, and now he wants to get a certificate to help others. I did see that. Adele. Sometimes going into a van can maybe save your life, huh? Oh, hello, Glenna Russell. Hello. Kathy Smith says, I'm retired. What difference does it make if I spend the rest of my life in a van or sitting in a house? I wouldn't be doing anything more productive with my time in a house as opposed to a van. Very good point. Yeah, Wanderluster Bus, I know. I need to check my speakers. It was me. All right, but I'm glad you were able to hear them. I didn't have to repeat them. So I'm glad you were able to hear them. Triathlete says, I think living in tiny in an RV is like living in a tiny home. Yep, yep. They're jealous. Maybe. All right. Okay, so I'm trying to get down here to, I'm so far behind that I'm, hello, Kenneth Copeland. Hello, hello. How's it going? Catching up with you. All right. So my moderators, would you drop your links, including Nora? Go over and visit Arcuda 2001 at Nora Keg. She has Instagram. She has Etsy. She has all kinds of things, and visit and see her beautiful, amazing artwork. Shirley Griffin says, stay safe. Wayne, Arkansas was hit by a tornado last night. Vans, cars, homes destroyed. No wonder you were saying safe. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing okay, Shirley. And I pray for the people in Wayne, Arkansas. Oh, we are having some crazy things, crazy weather. So, oh my goodness. I know an entire town. What was that other town that was hit by a tornado recently and completely demolished? So this is the second town in the last week or two that's been destroyed by tornadoes. Oh my goodness. Kathy Red says, my life was nothing until I stopped being about my stuff. You know what, Kathy Red? I'm going to tell you something. I am trying to get rid of, I have had my house for over 40 years. Can you imagine all the crap I have in my house accumulating? I'm trying to get it all, not all, but most of it, and have just very little in there. And it is quite a task. Every time I come back off the road, I'm trying to do it, but it's been a task. All right. Dinky Shop says, would like to see Carol talk budgets with van lifers. I'm curious the cost for various people across the country. That's a very good idea, Dinky Shop, and one that I will do at some point. I think that's a great suggestion, and maybe get some people on who, in fact, I'll reach out to some people. If Gene does not come next week, I got to check in with him and see how his cold is doing, because I don't want to catch his cold. But check and see if he's okay. I suggested to him to get some chicken soup, and he said he was going to. If he doesn't, maybe I can get some for him. But if he is not going to be on next week, maybe we can do that. Thank you for that suggestion, Dinky Shop. And I love it when you guys give suggestions. So if you have suggestions for lives, please do that. Robin Jankin Van said, thanks for chatting with us. Not camera ready. Time for a Planet Fitness shower. Oh my goodness, that's funny. All right. So let me see. I'm trying to see some C's down here and have my moderators dropped your links. Content creators, have you dropped a C? And anyone else who is new, if this is your first time, would you put a 1 in the box there in the comments so we can acknowledge you? Put a 1 in the box. I have been so far behind on these comments today. I am sorry, folks. I'll try to do better next week. But oh my goodness. Red says, once her brother's girlfriend called her trailer trash when she lived in her RV. Oh my words. Now that's pretty extreme. Grumpy Old Man. Hello, Grumpy Old Man says, do older people who are full-time RVers want to get off the road and back into the sticks and bricks life due to needing to be closer to hospitals and doctors? That's a good question. And you know what? One of these days I'm going to have Lindy on and a couple of other older folks. I think it depends upon your health, really, Grumpy Old Man. If you have major health issues, I would say that there's a possibility that you may be more of an urban van life dweller, that you stay more in a large city so that you can be near your doctors. I actually know someone. I know someone who lives in a trailer that's parked on the street. And she stays there because I interviewed her maybe a year ago, and she has some major health problems. So she stays in the city because she needs to be near her doctors and near the hospital. So I would say that's how some people who have health problems, whether they're older or younger, resolve that problem by being urban city dwellers, staying close to the hospital and medical facilities. Rob and Jan Can Van say van home versus sticks and bricks. Pro, if you don't like your neighbors, you can just move to another spot. That's a good point. That's a good point. Oh my goodness, there's only 8 likes. Come on, folks, hit that like button. Hit that like button. And let YouTube know that you're enjoying this live. Oh, up to 114. Okay, you guys are rocking and rolling here. Thank you, thank you. Sylvia says, Carol, been living in vans, RVs for centuries, people rather. This is not a new trend. Years ago, everyone who lived in vans were all called hippies. That's true. Do you remember hippies, how hippies would travel around in vans? Oh my goodness. And Wanderluster Bus says, yes, Carol, everyone is of value. That is true. That is very true. Okay. Outdoor Dash Travel says, sorry, my bad. Okay, Lisa, you get me all riled up for nothing here. Didn't refresh. Okay, now who is messing up technology wise? But Lisa really is. Go check out her, in fact, her videos on editing. I learned so much. In fact, I learned how to edit from Lisa. So go check those videos out on her channel. Jose says, for those people I rented the rooms to, that is how I got the money to start playing the stock market. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that, Jose, to be perfectly honest. I hope you do well. I do hope you do. I wouldn't dare do it because I would lose all my money. Grumpy Old Man says, I am an anytime RVer. We own our house 100%, but we travel in our RV anytime we like for as long as we like. It's a good life, really. You know, Grumpy Old Man, I was listening to Travel Snacks, my friend Allison over at Travel Snacks YouTube channel yesterday. She had a live, and she was talking about what she was calling a hybrid van life. And that's what you're living. And that's what I'm living. And I think, honestly, it's the best of both worlds. You can leave and go for as long as you want. A friend of mine is trying to convince me to go with her to Alaska this summer. Me and Linda are going to be doing some things later in the fall. And you can do whatever you want as far as traveling. But when you really need a break, and sometimes after being on the road for months and having maybe some not so great experiences trying to find parking, or just being weary, you can come back, you can recuperate for maybe even a week. You can recuperate, you can take care of business, you can go to the doctors, you can do what you need to do, and then you can get back on the road. I know not everyone is in a position to do that, but I just love the freedom of being able to do that. I just love it. And I will always have a house because I have a special needs daughter, so I have to, but I think if you can, oh my goodness, it's a luxury that I am eternally grateful for. Robin Jan Ken Van says, you realize how little you need to be happy. We got rid of almost all of our stuff, very freeing. You know what, you guys, I am looking forward to the day that I can get rid of most of my stuff, because most of it is not enhancing my life. It's detracting from my life. It's a burden, and it is just wearying. It's wearisome. All right. Lisa says, on a roll, I have a senior moment. All right, let's go. We've got some C's. Keeping Up with Colorado is a creator. Outdoor Dash Travels is a creator. There's her link. Chef Santa Travels is a creator. Oh my goodness. Glenna Russa says, if you're living in a van, you're still living. Most in sticks and bricks are too busy paying for it to enjoy it. That is so true. Redheaded Riding Hood is a creator. There's her link. Arcuda 2001 Nora, there's her Instagram information. Keeping Up with Colorado. Thank you. Anyone else that is a creator, a content creator, put a C. Okay, I don't see any number ones, but I know there were some people who, oh, Grumpy Old Man says, I'm new to your channel and you're pretty cool, great channel. Thank you, Grumpy Old Man. You don't sound that grumpy to me. You sound pretty pleasant. But anyhow, thank you for tuning in, Grumpy Old Man. Can everyone give a hello and a shout out to Grumpy Old Man? You know how we do it, Globies. We welcome our newbies in because we're so happy to have you here. Everyone's saying hello to Grumpy Old Man. Hey, Aki says, you seem like such a beautiful soul. I've been watching you for a while and I appreciate your interviews with Nomad Live. Thank you, Aki, and welcome. Can everyone say hello and greet Aki on here? Well, folks, Dinky Shop, I'm going to remember to do that about budget. That is such, any people who are willing to share that information. Clint Roberts says, it sucks that there are too many thieves out there nowadays. There are. You do have to be careful. That's a downside. Red says, Carol, I accumulated so much in my 30-foot, 100-square-foot house. I did a major downsize to live in my RV and travel for a year. I bet. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Glenna says, decluttering, take it one day at a time, Carol. Oh, it just seems, my brother told me that I cannot bring anything else into my house unless I take 5 things out. My brother Donald. Okay, now we got the ones. Wanda says, go over and say hello to Wanda says, Tatiana Rivera. Oh, Grumpy Old Man. Oh my goodness. Aki, hello. Brandy, hello. Jacqueline, oh my goodness. Hello, all you new Globies. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Globies, go over and greet all of our newbies. Give them the old Globie welcome. Let them know that we're happy to hear them. Florell 5. Hello, Florell. Oh my goodness, I don't have my glasses on. I hope I'm saying that right. Hello. Oh my goodness. Well, it has been so good spending my Saturday, part of my Saturday with you. I love each and every one of you. Wanda says, I lived on the road for 2 years. I live in sticks and bricks now. I respect the van life. Very cool. Okay, very cool. All right. Who is it saying, how's Elmer the goat? He is doing good, and he's going to be doing better when his head gets off the chopping block, figuratively speaking. And so many of you helped with that today. Thank you. All right, Insta Van Bill says, hello. This is my time here also, Grumpy Old Man. That's from Jose. Sissy's Journey, he says, I believe Indians were some of the first nomads as they follow the weather. Very true. Grumpy Old Man is saying hey to Jose and saying, woohoo. All right. Triathlete says, my goal is to get a truck big enough to pull my tiny house so when I want to move, I can. Jose says, I played the stock market and lost quite a bit years ago. That doesn't sound very encouraging, Jose, I must say. But anyhow, I am going. Debbie Johnson says, I want to get rid of my stuff, sell, give away before I retire. Want a tiny home as a home base and possibly RV. All right. Well, folks, yep, I'm a bit behind. I sure am, Lisa. But I am heading out. All right, folks, oh my goodness, it's 4:35. Do you believe that? How long we've been on? All right. Well, I love you. Love each and every one of you. I'm going to have some interesting videos coming up. I'm going to do something a little different this week to get some input on what folks think about nomads. So stay tuned. And hopefully next week, Gene will be on to talk about all of his vitamins and his stem cell. I didn't get a chance to ask him that when I interviewed him. So hopefully he will be on, but I must say this, it's not going to be medical advice. And I'm going to repeat that disclaimer when I have him on the live eventually. We're not doctors. We're not medical professionals. So Gene is just sharing with you what he does before anyone does anything. Check it out with your doctor first. All right. Having said that, I love each and every one of you. May your journeys be filled with joy and blessings. And I will see you next week. God allow. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.